because I'm sure the representative from Dar es Salaam has also changed with what you have been doing here today. So what I mean is, for an international organization, when you deal with poor people, they want the solutions as if it were yesterday. How can poor people deal with writing pages, going through all these checks and balances, putting the program? After all, they never went to school, the majority of them. Can't you find a way of doing it for them? Why should you ask all these details and questions? So I said, to hell with care in Dar es Salaam. I'm going to talk to the people in my islands to show them the disadvantage. But I still need care. Because there are certain things which we could have done faster if care had come on faster than they did. And I still give them a chance to call me in their office. Call me, because the poor person is also a resource. You need people who can open your doors. In Tanzania, I'm a key to the president, to parliamentarians, to the Pan-African Parliament, where we also need to see you care. We are dealing with a lot of issues concerning poverty, which is a result of conflicts on Africa, backwardness of the economy in Africa, and conflicts sometimes which we generate ourselves. We need you there. So the international organizations should find a way of getting to government. They should find a way of knowing the poor people, of identifying themselves with the poor people, and at the same time making use of every opportunity. Within the poor people, there are talents. I want to also say one thing. With the poor, don't use big words. What is Millennium Goals? What is millennium? In the African context, we count up to, if we are lucky, we count up to 100,000, full stop. Because we don't live that millennium. We have no recording of millenniums. So when these words came up, I went to the village, and I was wondering, if I say millennium, what language do I use? It's not in Swahili. We are trying to concoct it. People cannot imagine millennium. People understand food, security, water, life, and so on and so on. So within this millennium, there are all these words. So when I come to these international conferences, I talk about millennium goals. But when I go back to my village, I have to speak about the concrete issues. And this is what I want care to speak. Not to tell us about millennium goals in the villages. Who understands? How can we package our language of the international language into the language of the poor people? I just wanted to add on another question to you. How much are you getting in care? And how much goes directly to the poor people and not to the administration of care? We need good administration. But the moment you find that the percentage you take is larger than what goes to the poor people, then it's there for job creation. Can you think about it? Or can you increase the efforts of mobilizing resources so that the expenditure on sustaining the institution does not overshadow the vision which created care? I would like to say I have a lot of appreciation for international organizations. In fact, I think differently. I don't want to push them to governments because the governments are so bureaucratic that sometimes the international organizations end up only doing what I refused in the care office. So I think we have to find a way. How do we support international organizations to be able to reach the real poor? It's a responsibility not only of the international organizations, but it's also a responsibility of some of us who can open the doors, who can discuss this in the Pan-African Parliament, who can discuss this in our national parliaments. How do we create an environment where the international organizations can work better than what we are doing? And it also depends which government, particularly on the African continent. Which government do I push you to? Is it the Zimbabwe government? Is it the Tanzanian government? Which government? And what are the concepts of that government? So I would like to, not over my time, to run over my time. But I would like to say, I've come to this conference simply because I wanted to be part of CARE. And simply because I'm doing things already which are the vision of CARE without knowing. I have an angel where I have created the young women to be together to articulate and to do things in order to exit from poverty. I was told by the African women on the regional conference before Beijing that their problem is not to be carried on the back of somebody out of poverty. They just want the doors to open so that they can walk through and exit from poverty. That's a message which I always keep saying. The African people are not interested in being carried, but they want people to open the doors. Give me a hoe, I till the land, and I harvest the food. Give me the technology, the knowledge, the skills. That's what it is, particularly the women of Africa. And I want to tell you, the women of Africa are making it. I just came back from Rwanda, where the women now are 56% in parliament. So the men need protection. And this is happening on the African continent and in a country which had gone through a terrible situation of genocide. Why did it happen? Because of Kagame. He is a very gender-sensitive person, and I'm wondering, the French are hunting him. They want to take him away, snatch him, and jail him somewhere. But for the Rwandese women, he's doing a wonderful job. He listened to these women. These women are collecting pieces, putting together. Now that is a gender question. How much is CARE gender sensitive? You deal with the women, you have dealt with the biggest percentage of poverty which we are talking about. If you deal with the women, you deal with the children, you have changed, you have revolutionized.